Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication.
Hey there, welcome to Mercy TV, your source for news and information on the medical cannabis issue as it unfolds here in Oregon, across America, and around the world. Greetings, my name is Perry, and along with Sunny and PK,
Hello.
we'll be hosting this segment of Mercy TV. Mercy TV is an action item of Mercy, the Medical Cannabis Resource Center. Find out more about Mercy at mercycenters.org or give a call to the center at 503-363-4588. Mercy TV is going to be showing here live, so give us a call with your cannabis related even question, comment, curse, or kudo.
And we always like to say hi. You know, there's people up in the hospital and they watch our show, and you know, those people up there, those are the people up in the hospital that need to talk to their doctors, talk to their nurses, talk to their friends and family, because cannabis can help them. Cannabis is good medicine, and those are the people who are going through the worst treatments and who have done so many treatments and who are living the side effects of those treatments. And you know, these are the people that cannabis will help the most. And I can't say how it will help, because until you try it, whether you're smoking it, vaporizing it, rubbing it on with the oils, or even eating it, you know, these are the things that cannabis will use and the ways you can use it to help you. And you know, that's what we know, that cannabis will work. Cannabis is good medicine, and you, being the patient, have to give it a chance and try it. You know, we know there are a number of people out there that know cannabis is good medicine. They had a meeting last night, and they're taking all of the stuff out of it. I mean, the OLCC took the name change, Perry.
Yeah, they're working on that, but it's mostly symbolic. The program really needs to change to be more about the patients, really. You know, the folks you were talking about, the folks in hospice care and in care facilities, a lot of them of limited income, what little they have is going to these facilities and so forth. These are the folks that have been hurt the most by the recent legislation, making changes that not only affected the patients, adding costs, unlimited aspects to them, but also mainly to the growers, imposing a great deal of regulation unnecessarily, and really prohibiting them from being growers, from taking on more patients. In fact, they couldn't keep the ones they have. It's something we're getting a lot of calls on, and it's the big epidemic in the medical cannabis community right now. And so we need to be especially attentive to this legislative session to try and counter what bad things are happening around the bend, and to try and undo the harm that was done in the last legislative session. Now, as Sonny mentioned, we have this bill that's being put forth to put the medical marijuana program under the control of the OLCC. And that's like putting the hens under the charge of the foxes. You know, the hen house is not going to be guarded by the foxes. It's like, no, that's a bad idea, folks.
Well, they had so many different issues, and there were things they didn't say, things they were saying, and like you said, it was symbolic. Well, there was words, and that's always the things when you're talking with the state and how they do those regulations and the legislators, the words they use and the words they say. You know, we're just patients. We're sick. We're just trying to use some medicine that works for us. And today,
that don't have side effects.
exactly, Pete. And today, what we know is there are patients that are suffering out there that lost their growers because of all this legislative, you know. and the-
Nonsense, yeah.
Man.
And PK is a patient and a grower. PK, you can speak to the effect.
Yes. So I was fed up with the different laws that were being passed back in May. That I heard of. I talked to my attorney, Bradley Shipman, and we got his number here. But the first thing I want to start off, it's just a plant. Why are we having these restrictions on quality medicine with non-side effects of the opioid pharmaceutical drugs? Why do we have a restriction on growing a plant at home? I know the law to regular people or a household can grow 4 plants on the property, but the patient needs more. He makes edibles, or he has somebody making the edible. With the restrictions that you placed on us, people are hurting.
Yes, and I would say that the biggest restriction is the cost.
That's it, the monies. The patients don't have monies, they're not working, they're hurting, and then they put all these enormous amounts of monies and fees that they're supposed to pay to do
We're on
things.
limited income.
And that's
Right on,
that's totally outrageous that these people would be asked to be paying anything. These people, back in '98 when we got the law in, it was all about helping patients, getting the medicine to the patients, and everybody was so good with it. We did so good with all of that, with the law, and how OMA came in, and they have literally just regulated it out.
Well,
They're
it worked.
greedy little bastards.
Absolutely.
Robert from Arkansas is on the line.
Excellent. Go ahead, Robert.
How you doing, Robert?
Well, we finally got over the flu.
Back off on your microphone a little bit.
I said we finally got over the flu.
Excellent.
Yay.
Well, good.
Well, it's good to hear from you.
Uh-huh. How's things going in Arkansas?
Well, it's not going real good here. They're trying to unlegislate what they passed down here. So,
Uh-huh.
we're still fighting the court case. We asked for a jury trial this week.
Okay.
So what I did is I sent you guys a press release with all the links, all the videos, and all that to the court case because we're challenging the state and federal statutes on the plant.
Excellent. Good for you. Well, we'll get it posted on the website there as soon as we can.
Okay, well, I sent you the entire press release, it's got all the things, the videos, and direct access to the court, so you guys can happily follow. If anybody can follow the court case, it's paperwork to file.
Excellent. And we'll certainly try to get folks in the area there to whatever hearing and absolutely call their legislators, huh?
Well, actually, this is a court case.
Back off on the microphone, Robert.
It's actually challenging the statutes all the way across the board.
Okay, right.
And if I win, it can change how we look at it nationally. Because today, for example, remember I told you guys about the DEA rescheduling CBD?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, they did the first raids in Alaska this morning.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, they went in and confiscated CBDs in several dispensaries in Juneau, Alaska, under the rule of the new DEA law that went into effect January 17th.
Wow. It's sad that their pronouncements can become laws just like that. No oversight, no, ruling at all. Just, hey, we just, expand our power. Screw you.
Well, here's the problem with that. This started in 2011.
Right.
And the MPP and Normal and all those folks knew about it but didn't do anything about it, so it became law in January.
Right.
But that's another, it's now got its own separate classification. It is not marijuana. It's a separate controlled item, and it's a Schedule 1.
Well, we certainly need to have all our folks hammer their legislators and prepare for the nomination of Trump's pick to do head the DEA, who's going to have a big say in all that.
Well, actually, he doesn't have any say-so. The Attorney General does.
Attorney General picks the DEA?
The Attorney General's in charge of the DEA.
Yeah, he can direct it, but the DEA head, I mean, like when Michelle Leonard was in there, she just ran rampage there, kind of irregardless of what the Attorney General said or did.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the Attorney General has total control over
Right, the
DEA.
Department of Justice, okay, sure.
Okay. Matter of fact, the Attorney General can take cannabis off the controlled substance list without Congress.
Excellent.
Well, all folks got to do is go to my website, Hot Cannabis and Politics, TC&P, and look at Title 21, and all the information's there.
Excellent, okay.
I will keep you informed, and I'll call you next week. Like I say, we filed for a jury trial, and I'll let you know if anything happens next Friday.
All
Excellent.
right.
Best of luck.
Will do.
All right. This can affect everybody, so we need some help. We need to get the word out.
You bet.
Yes, sir.
Hey, well, thanks for calling in, Robert. Best of luck on your action items there.
All right, sir. Appreciate what you guys do.
Hey, appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
bro. Good to hear from you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
He's from Arkansas, folks.
That's right. Robert from Arkansas. Giving us a call, letting us know about the action items. They just passed a medical cannabis law there in Arkansas. And no sooner did the folks voted in, but the legislators who are opposed, the prohibitionists, are trying to mess with it, just like it happened here in Oregon, sad to say.
What they
Connie's on
did.
the line, gentlemen.
Oh, super. Hey,
Hello,
Connie.
How are you doing?
Good. How's Connie doing?
How did it go Monday at the Capitol? I forgot all about it.
Well, I went down to the Capitol on Monday from 12 to 4:20. They had several tents out. They had speakers. They filmed an hour of the different speakers talking about how the patients' rights have been compromised by all these different laws and hurting the growers as well. We will see this soon on the CCTV channel 23, as you know. Thanks for watching my garden and this program. So
And
call
when's your
us.
garden on?
Sorry, what was that?
When's your garden on TV?
Well, it's winter time and it's held off until the spring, but we do have a couple plants that are started.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have some, okay. If you have internet access, you can see it in our YouTube library. So there's, sorry. Well, we'll try and get some back episodes up there, but you'll see them on Channel 23 soon.
Yeah. Well, I just have nothing but good words to say about the Mercy Center that made my last 3 years a joy to live in.
Very nice.
Thank
good.
you.
Well, you know what, Connie? Everybody is supposed to help each other, and the medicine is too easy. And you know what? The medicine helps you every day, and there's a lot of people out there like you that if we had you to help them because they don't think they can do it,
Right.
that you're a good example. You
Yeah.
know, you're a good example. Cannabis can help you do anything. It helps
Well,
you
thanks
do.
a lot, guys.
Well, thank you, Connie, for all that you do.
Yes. You've been.
I'll think I'll talk to you later, guys.
All right.
Thank you, Connie.
Okay,
Mm.
thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Now, there's a case of a person who's able, even though she's in hospice care in a facility, she's able to self-medicate. She's also able to prepare her own medicine
Right.
to get
Make the
her
oils.
to get her it in that in the vegetative state.
Luckily, her grower didn't throw her to the curbside.
Well, you know, and these are the things that we try at the Mercy Center to tell everybody to do and work with each other, because the patients are the ones that are suffering so much, you know. But as it's turned out, everybody's not worked like that.
And it's time, it's more important than ever before, you know, since we start the program, for us to network. We still have the ability to freely give a cannabis in all its forms between caregivers and patients. We may not have that long.
Connie has another question.
Oh, okay, sure. Go ahead, Connie.
By the way, I'm not a hospice care, and I live in an adult foster home. You've always talked about me. Hospice, that means I'm dying.
Uh-huh.
I'm not
Oh,
dying.
sorry. She's not quite dead yet. Thank you, yeah.
Said, don't push her over the edge yet.
Right. Okay.
Good luck, guys.
Well,
All
thanks
right,
for
thank you,
clarifying that.
Connie.
An important distinction.
But you
And,
know, there are people in
Right.
hospice care that are going through the same
Right,
things
that's been a
that we've dealt
lot of
with
our
so
experience
many
there.
times, and you know, the cannabis has helped them. I mean, at one time we had a book. I mean, we had
Yep.
a little book of people that, man, they just had such good experience because they had some cannabis and they were able to have a better appetite, and they were there were so many things that they were able to do because the side effects they were already dying, but the side effects were killing them,
right.
you know. And it sounds funny, but it's not funny when you're the one that's going through it, you know.
Well,
the
if you
family,
look
yeah.
in the Mercy Center logs, you can see results of the cannabis and how cannabis help cure the different tumors or skin rashes that they may have. And then this is even on myself.
Right on. And we want to take a moment to do a shout out to our studio audience and let folks know that they can come on down here to Mercy Center and sit in on the broadcast, throw out their questions, comment, curses, or kudos. If you have a group or individual that's done well, let's let everybody know. If you have a particular comment or issue or an idea, you know, let everybody know. This is the time and the place.
Well, you know, because CCTV is so good, they will help us, they will help us help you. I mean, you know, and that's what it's all about. You know, we're just trying to get it all out there, and we're trying to help others get it out there.
Sonny, we have someone in our studio audience that wants to know about CBDs.
What about them?
Okay, well, where do we begin? Cannabinoids and cannabinoids are of the elements that comprise marijuana or cannabis. THC is just one of the components. CBDs comprises one of the other subsets, which also has CBNs, CBGs. There's a couple of others.
Right.
And this is that family of cannabinoids, cannabinoids, which
Right.
again is separate from terpenes and a couple of other elements. And, you know, this is just what we know today.
And that's, you know, a few weeks back we started talking about receptors.
Right.
And the receptors in our vital organs. You know, nobody talks about the vital organs. Our body has cannabinoid receptors that when we eat and smoke and rub these oils on us, those oils and foods and smoke that's in the oxygen goes to those receptors, and those receptors take that medicine
Right.
and actually do something with it in our body. You know, that's pretty big.
And the interesting points are that this is not really new. It was discovered in the 1960s by scientists in Israel, and which led to their particular strain of cannabis, the Avekiel strain, which is very high in CBDs and very low in THC. Of course, they've had great results with it, using it for their soldiers for PTSD in the combat of terror. for old folks, Alzheimer's, and again, suffering from PTSD. They have Holocaust survivors in some of their situations. It's just been fantastic. And it's another example of the information that's being almost kept out of the U.S., you know. But it is still evolved here because, you know, it's like naturally unfolding. And so now we've got, unfortunately, also some, you know, snake oil salesman activity going on, mostly on the internet, with folks promising you CBD-rich oils. In some cases, made from concentrating various strains of hemp variety. We hope that you know, the science and facts on it are what's going to come through, particularly where the DEA is insisting that they have control of it, which means they're going to designate it like marijuana as evil and dangerous and having no medical value.
Excuse me, Perry and Sonny. What I have to say is back in 1937, the federal government put on a tax act on cannabis to drive out the Mexicans and the blacks. They said that was a bad influence on people. They put an outrageous tax act, which was a double-edged sword. But before then, if you were in, you could pick up Valley Pharmacy, medicine that had cannabis in it. It was one of the natural ingredients of a lot of different remedies.
This is true.
After or before 37,
a lot of people didn't know that.
Right,
Pete.
you know. And another thing to point out there, it's another example of a deliberately bad law meant for purposes of controlling immigration. It's a people and population control item, really. And also, it's the point where medical science and fact made a departure from common sense and the rule of law in this land. You know, the testimony, the downright lies and nonsense that was used to create the current laws governing cannabis and that we live under today was testimony that wouldn't have been allowed in any court trial and so forth. And it's been held in place strictly by sometimes brutal and oppressive government group of bodies, the Drug Czar's office, the DEA, you know, Attorney General. Unfortunately, we expect to see more of the same with the cast of characters that we're seeing there.
Well, and that's why it's important to keep this cannabis conversation going.
Right, especially with your legislators.
Excuse me. Next to you, Sonny, is the new Cannabis Connection. They'll be out in your dispensary soon. Hey, they have recipes. And if you go back to their website, you can find other recipes on prior issues. And it's great information to see how we're keeping track on them. But it needs you to get in touch with your legislator and give them a earful.
Well, and Pete's talking about the OCC because they got good, they cover a lot, they've been doing a lot for a lot of years, and you know, the recipes are only one thing for the patients. You know, very important.
Edibles.
Patients, well, you know, you don't know what to do, what to eat, where to go, how to do it, and it's all broke down, it's already been done, and you know, they do a great job.
Right, and you can find out more information about CBDs and other important elements of the medical cannabis laws and movement, if you will. We had a lot of things that have developed here in Oregon. We're rather unique in our program, but that only happened because we had the ability to network, you know, to support doctors who would sign, to be able to exchange plans, to exchange processes and methods, to network gardens. You know, one garden's able to have a bunch of babies. The other one's more adapt for mature plants, you know, and that means that folks have to coordinate and share pretty much.
Back to the information, Perry.
Right.
You know, it's just another good place to get information. You can pick it up around town, and a lot of people, the recipes are great too.
Mm-hmm. Do we have anything from the studio audience? I don't want to bypass an opportunity for them to have their question, comment, curse, or kudo.
Do you know anything about the OLCC possibly taking over CBD produced hemp?
Well, yeah, there's a bill pending, and that's why we want folks to contact our legislators and let them know what they think of it. There's several bills. One is to put all of cannabis under the control of the OLCC. Another one is to set up a separate organization, the Oregon Cannabis Commission, and that is to take care of the medical aspect of it, the programs in therein. And I believe there's a move to keep things the way they are. And so folks really need to look at these bills and think about and network with others on the pros and cons. And we should need a concerted action by the patients, their caregivers, the growers, their friends, the families, and others who are in the community. You know, these folks work for people. They have good employees now because they have medical cannabis and can do the work. They are contributing in other ways, you know, and so there's a whole community behind each and every one of these patients. And this is the time for them to speak up and go forth and act up.
Well, we have a lot in the cannabis community, and the cannabis is good medicine, Perry, and that's back to the cannabis conversation that we've been trying to push here on the Mercy TV show.
Absolutely. And if we may, we just want to throw out there that we don't think the OLCC is a good choice to be managing the medical cannabis. They've always been opposed to dealing with it before. They don't really understand or want to understand, much less promote and maximize the medical cannabis aspect. I think they're more concerned with placating the status quo, dealing with that, over-regulating things, and keep
making money.
Well,
that's that's the only thing they're interested in, is making money.
But also keep serving the mantra that cannabis is evil and dangerous, so we need the regulation, and has no medical value, so there's no point in doing the studies and, you know, nailing down how CBD works, why it works, why these other CBD, CBN, CBGs, and so forth. At the same time, don't be afraid of the THC.
But next Friday.
Right. We can talk more about it. Thanks to our friends for coming down. PK.
Thank you.
Lance in the control room. Charles, Phil, Louise, the other folks here at CCTV. Thanks to our studio audience and folks calling in. We'll see you next time on Mercy TV.
Have a good day, folks. You want to say anything before I turn it off, Glenn?
Yes, good night.
Good night. God bless you all, every single one of you.